Hey, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. What do you want to do? You want to sit back because we have a very special #1 gentleman in Prince George's County. That's Laverne Rushern Baker. You know, I call him one thing and he's another. So anyway, we got this straight. But we have with me Edwana Larkin, my assistant there. She's going to ask a few questions of the county exec. Now tell us, Mr. Baker. See, I use that, then I'll have to deal with the first name. You know?
And you were five, you know.
But anyway, tell us. You know, you've had a few months in, and you had a few more to go. Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. It's good to be here. Yes, it's been an interesting 10 months on the job. You know, as I came into the job, we had a massive budget deficit. At the beginning of the administration in January, we had a spike in homicides in Prince George's County, 12 homicides in 12 days. Then on one particular Saturday, we had 7 fires throughout Prince George's County. So I had 600 acres burning in the north, 300 acres burning in the south, and every place in between. And then we had a hurricane, tornado, a hurricane, a flood, and a
well,
earthquake.
it's everything.
It's everything. So everything happened. But through all that, you look where Prince George's County is now. We just celebrated last week a 35-year low in crime in Prince George's County. Every category, including violent crimes, robberies, all down in Prince George's County. Our school system has seen improvements in their test scores. We reaffirmed our AAA bond rating in the midst of the crisis around the world. And we signed an MOU to build a new Prince George's Hospital and bring in one of the best medical schools in the country, Maryland Medical System, and the medical school. It's coming to Prince George's County.
They bring in money too,
they
right?
They bring the good one. They're bringing money, and you know, we were awarded the highest amount of dollars for education from the state this year. We got $30 million back from the state for our education system. So a lot is going on. We're very happy, and not to mention that we're going to have, for the first time, a state agency coming to Prince George's County. The Department of Housing and Community Development is coming here. So amidst the crisis when we came in, we're coming out. I think things look great.
How many jobs is that going to bring to the county?
Well, it's going to bring the potential to bring somewhere around 2,600 jobs in terms of not just the agency itself, but the offshoot of jobs that will happen because of contracting. So jobs are coming. Quintera, which is the development that's going to be in the northern part of the county, is going to bring in another additional 2,600 jobs, we hope. National Harbor is doing well. And one of the things that I like to highlight to folks, and I know you asked this in the beginning, what are we looking forward to? This administration has been very aggressive about putting really good people in key positions. And as I joked to a group the other day, the fact that most of my appointments happen to be women means that means that I'm a really smart man.
Well, that's why Edwana is here. You know, I heard something like that. You know?
See, I knew you were bright, Ed, and so but it speaks to the fact that we've got, you know, this administration is looking broadly and diversifying the appointments. I'm really pleased that one that's coming up that we just sent down to the council is our county attorney. Andre Green is the county attorney. We've sent her name down to the county council so that increased the number of women we have in decision-making positions. And as a father of one boy and 2 girls, you know, that's I'm popular in the house because the women outnumber us.
Oh, yes.
So we're very pleased at where we're going.
Great. Edwana, you had a comment there.
Yes, I do. I'm so glad to have you here. County Exec, I met you on several occasions, and I would like to say that you have always been congenial, you've always been approachable, and I thank you for that, and I think you are doing a wonderful job thus far. But my concern is the Woodmore Town Center. I know there's a lot of property, a lot of land over there. I want to know who would be the other retailers coming into that property.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's a great question and a good timely question. We just met with Walt Petrie, one of the developers of Whitmore Townsend Center, where we have Wegmans, and we're bringing in others. And they're moving ahead with attracting top-notch retailers to come in. And we at the county level are going to assist them. You know, for a while, they've been pretty much struggling on their own. Wegmans is one of the best, highest performing stores. They're hot food services in the region for
I've had
for
the
Wegmans.
manager here.
Yeah, they're doing terrific. And I think that's what we wanted to show people, that you know, people in Prince George's County are spending their money. And we just need to give them the opportunity to spend their money right here in the county. So you will be pleased that we work with the council member from that district, Andrea Harrison. And so we're going to give them
that's
the
my
assistance.
counsel.
She's doing a great job. Just had her in the office, so we're very pleased. But that's one that we're really going to pay a lot of attention to.
Oh, great. That's excellent.
Okay. Well, tell us, you know, you inherited a lot on your plate, just like the president, you know, when you came in. And you've done a beautiful job in, you know, in attacking those things. Tell us some of the future things as far as, I was telling you about the young people and the evolutionary elders, you know, getting that group together.
Right. I mean, and that's a very important important thing. I mean, the young people and the elders, and what the evolutionary elders are doing with that intergenerational working together. And so what we've done in our office is looked at our community affairs office, and we're going to develop a division in there that deals with the faith-based and nonprofits. And that way, organizations like community, like the elders, we can work with. You know, a lot of times government doesn't have the resources to do the programs, but we can support them. And so this office will help it, because you know, our seniors, you know, our elders have so much wisdom that we need to pass that along to our young people. I know for me, coming into the administration, you know, people joke with me and they say, well, look like you reached back and got everybody from the Curry administration to come in. But I was aware that coming into this situation, I needed elders. I needed wise counselors to help me through the problems I have. Our young folks are no different. And so we want to make sure we're working together.
Good. But I'd like to give you an opportunity now to actually tell us some of the things that you want to make an appeal to the citizens of Prince George County, the help that you need in your administration and get things done.
Is that me? I want to say that you know, having community participation is very, very important. And one of the things that we've said to the community is, we need you here to help us shape this government. We need you volunteering with our
that's the word.
That's for volunteering with our nonprofit organizations, but family services. It needs your help, needs volunteers. We've got good people who are helping now, but we need more. Our schools. One of the things that I do is visit a school in Prince George's County, a public school, once a week. And part of that is to let them know that we love them.
We do offer,
but also community participation. If the county executive can go to these schools, spend a day, try and help, we want everyone else to come out and volunteer to do that. And so we look forward to, you know, working with, or having the citizens come out and volunteer for the various programs. Also, in terms of you know, legislation we put forth. You know, we just passed what we call our Economic Development Incentive Fund. Once again, taking a note from the president, just like he had the stimulus money. In Prince George's County, we had the Economic Development Fund to stimulate jobs and opportunities. Well, if it wasn't for the citizen participation or resident participation in knowing that fund and coming out and testifying, it wouldn't have passed. Same thing, we're going to take appointments that we make to the county council to head up these agencies, like the county attorney, and we're going to go to the citizens and say, we need you to vet these people for us and to participate in helping them get it through. But volunteering and participation is what make democracy work, and we certainly need it in the county.
Well, that's one thing we stress here on the Ed Brown Show, is volunteering. You know, we have so much talent out there that's not being utilized, and if the people would just take time, and the citizens take time, Go to the council meeting. Go to your civic meeting.
right.
Find out what's going on. And on the Ed Brown Show, we had the #1 citizen here in Prince George County. He's telling you, you got to volunteer. You got to, don't sit back and complain about something.
right.
Get out and do something. See, that's the major thing. You know, we have a lot of complainers, but we don't have many volunteers, you know. I always look at that, you know, what have you done? You look yourself in the mirror, okay, and check yourself out. When the last time you volunteered for something? His county executive is letting you know he got plenty of spaces for you volunteers.
That is absolutely
Mr.
correct.
Baker, I want to thank you for being here, that county exec, Prince George County. And what I want to do, offer to you on the air an opportunity when you get things rolling, you think that they're good, just call Ed Brown and you can come back again.
I will do that. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Ed.
Thanks, Edwana, for being here. And Edwana has continually worked with the Ed Brown Show over 10 years there, you know, doing all kinds of things, you know. And just like we were saying, you know, I make sure, you know, we get the ladies in, you know.
Smart move.
Right. Okay, this has been Ed Brown. Be back in a second. Hi, welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And we're going to continue in education. We have my helper here, Edwana Larkin. She's going to ask some questions of Mr. Whidden here from the Evolutionary Elders, who's going to bring up some more information. You know, these guys, I guess they're almost regulars, Edwana. Don't you think these evolutionary? Can't get rid of them, man.
Yes,
I got to get a spray or something,
We
you know.
don't need to get rid of them.
Yeah, get a spray or something. They on the Ed Brown Show all the time. Well, Mr. Whidden, tell us about what's going on with the elders there. You got Dr. Williams there prompting you. I know he has filled you up.
Yes, well, we'll always have something to say, and there's so much to do. So between the two, as evolutionary elders, we are always busy. And I would like to say that, you know, there's a tremendous gap between our youth and our elders. So inside of what we do as evolutionary elders, there's something that I call our conduits. And those are young men and women who are between the ages of our youth and us. So where they can reach our youth and communicate with them on the level that we can't, and they can communicate with us on the level that our youth can't, then that bridges that gap. So I'm very proud that we have conduits, and I think one of our conduits has been on your show, Baron Howard, who does a lot of entrepreneurial work with young people. And mentoring with young girls and young boys, and just that's a tremendous help to us as evolutionary elders. I remember when I was a conduit, when I worked in far northeast doing lots and lots of community work, getting my teeth cut in the community, and that enabled me to be the evolutionary elder that I am now.
Well, Edwana, tell us, how do you think the effectiveness of this program with the young peoples and the elders?
I think it's very effective. It's much needed because some of our young people are being brought up in single-family homes, mothers only, and they need men especially to sow into their lives, because a woman cannot raise a man. A man can raise a man and give them that perspective that they need. One of your themes or your mottos is take back our children. And so this is what I think this program is aiming to do, to take back our children. They're caught up in a lot of negativity, and we need the positiveness of our elders to help us with our children. And they are doing a fantastic job. You go into schools, they speak at PTAs, they go to recreational centers, so they're out there and they're giving back to the community, trying to save this generation.
Well, Mr. Whidden, tell us just how do you recruit people into the evolutionary elders?
Well,
I mean, it's people out there just raring to go. They just sitting waiting for somebody to
well, some
give them
are,
something
and
positive to do.
yes, that's true. There's a lot of elders with time, on
Yes.
their hands. I mean, they have a lot of wisdom,
Right.
a lot of knowledge, and a lot of wisdom that they've gained over the years. And we've always had turbulent times, but in the struggle that continues, the information and knowledge that should be and must be passed on to our youth. That's why I mentioned our conduits, because
Yes.
they must be active in our communities, because they are pivotal to what we're doing. Because our youth, it hasn't been that long before they were youth, and before they can become evolutionary elders, they have to serve our communities in the capacity of conduits, to be that go-between where they get knowledge and information from us to pass it on to the youth that they can communicate with on the levels that they communicate with them, especially in sports, because so many of our young people are just inundated with sports. As I often say, our fanhood gets in the way of our manhood. So we need to be very careful how we deal with sports, because it can be a benefit for us, but it's also a detriment, because some of our children walk around looking like billboards, like advertising Nike, and they don't have any stock in the company. So we need to be very mindful of how we channel our children through sports, because what has happened, white men have taken a kid's game and turned it into a business, and our children become the victims of it, even though it looks as though that they are on top of it because they get paid lots of money.
Right.
But if you are not channeling that money in the areas that it should go, then you can become a detriment, and an instrument of your own oppression. And that is exactly what many of our black athletes do. Our cities are suffering, dilapidated cities such as Detroit, for instance, to name
Cleveland.
one.
Yes.
But football games never stop going on Sunday.
Right.
And how our youth have not been trained and taught and educated to how you become a part of the benefit, because you're taken from our communities.
Right.
So it's not enough just to give back, to say I put up a recreation center. Our children need institutions of learning.
Right.
Our
Yes.
children need to know how to grow food. We need to know how to make clothes. We need to know how to build homes. So we have to take care of ourselves. We must do for ourselves.
Yes.
As much as we can.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I noticed, the conversation even among some elders is always centered around the sports.
That's right.
Whereas this is the environment
Tradition.
that the youngsters are in, where the parents need to expose their children more to culture. Dealing with the problems, dealing with the politics. I guarantee you, they know about the various sports, but they don't know about the political system, how it works.
How it works.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
and the reality of it, and the cause of it,
Yeah.
and why
Yeah.
they have to get involved
Have to
into
get
the
involved.
politics
Thank you.
of this country,
That's right.
and also the economics.
The economics. You can't. That's
The
exactly
economics.
right.
Why is it when we have a conversation with young people, the only thing they really can get into is sports?
Sports,
If you
exactly.
talk
Yes.
about the Dow Jones, or you talk about
Yeah.
positive things in earning, you talk about those type of things, you never get any response. They just sit
That's
there
right.
and look at you. And these are the things that I think the elders are very active in,
Absolutely.
Yes.
just like
yes.
Mr. Whitten was saying here. Is exactly. If you talk, and even some adults have been inundated
Oh, yeah.
with the conversation of sports.
That's true.
Instead of, why not the history? Why not the African American history? Quiz the kids on that. How many
Yeah.
kids know any African American history?
Right.
And when you
Absolutely.
start talking about it, they look at you like you crazy.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't see the value
Right.
in it.
Right.
And getting back to some of our black athletes.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Yes.
You know, it's no longer just a game. It's a business.
Definitely. $97 million profit is a business.
It's a business. So
Yes.
if
Yes.
you can't, you know, classify yourself as an African American athlete and not be African centered.
Right.
So if you're going to take on that label or classification, then you need to be investing, you know, in Africa. You know, with the money that black athletes make in this country,
Right.
I mean, they could invest in gold in South Africa. They could do those kinds of things. Then you're being relevant. You're giving back. Because the pioneering black athletes have made it possible for you to make that kind of money. Half of them don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
If you mention Kurt Flood, you know, they may think that's some water. They have no idea who Kurt Flood is and the significance and what he gave to allow free agency to become what it is, and no more than they know who Jackie Robinson was.
Right.
You know, Jackie Robinson changed, you know, the color of how the game would be played, and Kurt Flood changed the economics of the game.
Yes.
And our black athletes walk around with chains around their neck and you know, just doing a lot of childish things, you know, in a business. Because if the people who control the business, you know, if they couldn't make the kind of money that they make from you running up and down a football field, you wouldn't be out there.
You wouldn't be there.
You wouldn't be
and
there.
another thing with your organization, the Evolutionary Elders, you empower or you try to
That's right.
empower parents.
That's right.
Thank
Because
you.
a
Yeah,
lot of
they
the
live through
parents,
their
Thank you.
children.
Yeah. you don't
Very
know
good.
this history.
You took the
and
words
we
out of
need,
my
yeah,
mouth.
we need this, and they need to be empowered so they
Exactly.
can at least
Yeah,
help
yeah.
their offspring.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to know why. You know, like we got kids just because they have athletic talent that they then their parents and the community tends to start treating them, you know, with privilege.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is taking away the education that they
Yeah,
should
the
be getting.
academic,
That's right,
yeah,
the academic
that's
part of
first
it.
and
You know, then you
foremost.
become imbalanced.
Actually, I want to hit the nail on the head. The youngsters are coming from environments where the parents
That's right.
themselves
Sure.
need
That's right.
involvement.
Involvement. And
See,
another thing,
in other than sports. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Yes.
see, involvement, take
Yeah.
them to and let them get as far as American African history.
That's right.
I mean,
And
most
coaches-
kids do not know basic things. They know about Jackie Robinson in sports. They know about those things.
I'm not so
basic
sure if
things.
they know as much about Jackie Robinson as they should, because Jackie Robinson's entry into the white leagues to integrated, you know, brought about a social change in our country, and because it was, you know, like it was far more just than sports, and he dedicated his life, you know,
Yes.
to our struggle.
And being taunted,
Right, exactly.
being ridiculed.
Yeah,
he
he
took all of
used
that.
baseball
Yeah.
to elevate himself so he could get a broader stage to work with our young people. But back to your point, you know, our youth are so inundated with sports that they have blinders on. That's all they see.
Yeah.
And when they fail to make it, you know, into the pro ranks,
3% on them.
that's
make
all.
it.
Yeah.
3%.
And then what do you do? Because you don't
Yeah.
have an education.
No, right.
You know, so now you're out talking about what you could have done, but you're not in control.
No.
As I say to young black kids who aspire to be professional athletes, you don't have control over who is going to, where you're going to go, or
No.
if you go.
Right.
Because it's like a plantation, you know, and the master is out there and he has all this black talent to choose from. So you have to be as lucky as you are talented.
Yeah.
Yes.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And case in point, one of our shining stars, unfortunately, had gone to Maryland University. Unfortunately, something happened and he lost his life. But how many credits did this kid have?
You know, Lynn Byers.
Yes.
That's right.
How many
That's
credits
true.
did he have at the end of his, junior year?
Junior year. That's
Right.
right. None.
Right.
Yeah, because he was there and
For a purpose.
Yeah.
And again, you have to factor the coaches into this scenario, because especially black coaches. In his case, he didn't have a black coach, but a coach nonetheless that was looking at the bigger
That
picture for
cares.
himself.
Yeah.
And And as I said to Dr. Williams, you know, because he was trying to get a lot of coaches involved in the academic aspect of our children's lives. And I was saying one of the problems I knew he was running into is that you have to realize that most coaches are former athletes themselves.
Yes. Right.
So
Been
they have
associated.
blinders on too.
Yeah, been associated with the
Yeah, and that's certainly no blanket statement, because there are some coaches who are as concerned about the academic standing of our athletes as they should be, you know, because they need that balance.
That's right. Edwana, what do you think we have to do to get the parents involved in the economics and of this country and in the education of their own children?
Yeah, we could probably have classes. We could get the evolutionary
Do you think
elders
that parents
to
would
come
come
in.
to the class like that?
Yes, yes, I think they would, but you can't. You have to keep after them. You know, you just can't give up. You know, and eventually, if you can help one parent see that you need to know about how our government is run, you need to know about politics.
And the only way
stuff.
you do that, you go to meetings.
Yeah.
You have to go to the county meeting, all the meetings,
Yes.
the civic association, but you have to educate yourself. When the youngsters see you going to the meeting, and you take them with you
Right.
to these meetings so they can see how the government runs.
Yes.
But the situation, like most of the youngsters now do not know the serious financial situation we're in now.
And to add to that, Mr. Brown, we must recognize that their parents don't either.
Right.
Right.
So if the parents don't know, it's going to be very difficult
It's
for the
tough.
children
Them to know.
Yeah.
for them
Well,
to
that's
know.
why when you mention parent, that's why I say that's the key. You know, the parents themselves, they got to give the environment. They got to give the youngster the environment to perform. That the way that
But
we're
I think
talking
somehow or
about.
another
See.
we're going to have to also inculcate into the parents, you know, because it's a lot of
It's their
parents.
responsibility.
Yeah, but they've also been miseducated.
Yeah.
So they have to be
Miseducation of the Negro.
re-educated.
Right.
In order for them, just because they're parents doesn't
Don't
it
automatically,
doesn't
right.
give them any just instant knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if they took shortcuts
Right.
to becoming educated, even though now they're parents, and to me, as I say to
Okay,
young
now,
people,
we
you
have
need
to- we have to go now.
become something else before
Yes.
you become a parent.
Okay, we have to go now. I want to thank you,
Excellent.
Mr. Whitten and
Excellent.
Edwana.
Thank you.
You know,
Yeah.
I think this we need to take more time on something like this. So really, I want come back in another show, and we continue
Excellent.
this subject because it's so very important that we give the parents like Mr. Whitten was saying, is that they give the parents the right environment so that they can teach the kids.
Right.
The parents, what they fail to realize is your responsibility as a parent, no matter what the kid does. You got to provide the environment.
Yeah,
if
that's
you don't
right.
provide
Yeah.
a
And
good
you-
environment
yeah,
for your child,
Yeah.
then it's your fault.
That's right. You have
Don't
to set the
blame the
example.
government. Don't blame the school system.
Right.
Blame yourself.
That's
Look
right.
in the mirror. This has been Ed Brown. See you next time.
Right.